Welcome to another episode of Waves of Wisdom. Today with me is a friend of mine from all the way from Singapore. Here in Maldives is Sha-En. Sha-En is a professional speaker. She speaks on leadership and many other topics. Originally started as a teacher, turned to be a professional speaker. She is on her journey to become unretirable. Welcome to the show, Sha-En.
Thank you, Iyas. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure having you, and welcome to Maldives again.
Yes, I'm so happy to be back.
Yes. So, how is your stay this time?
Excellent. Yes,
You have-
I'm very happy here.
Yeah, you have enjoyed your stay in resort and
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We did a very fun training on happiness and energy
wonderful.
for the team in Luxor. We had a great time.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Sha-En, let's start with how your journey began, in your career began.
Yeah, I started life as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very passionate about education, so I joined the teaching service.
Yeah.
I spent a few years in education, and then I went over to the headquarters where I did work related to guidance and social and emotional learning. Yeah, and that was when I found my passion for positive psychology.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what made you think that positive psychology is your passion?
Well, when I was working with the students, I noticed that there were many of them who were very stressed with the academics. And they would chase, but they didn't know how to manage their emotions.
Yeah.
They would get into quarrels with their friends, family issues, they didn't know what to do. And as a teacher, I just didn't feel like I would be teaching them subjects.
Yeah.
I should be teaching them about life. But I didn't have the skills.
Okay.
So that was when I started reading, and I came across this book called Learned Optimism by Dr. Martin Seligman, and he happened to be the founder of the field of positive psychology.
All right.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I fell into it, I guess.
Yeah. So so I guess it's always about the kids, right? It's about other people.
Yeah, it
wanted-
was about the children, but then in order to teach them, I had to learn it. And that was when I realized, wow, it could change my life as well. So I was
Okay.
very excited because, I always thought that I was a very pessimistic person. I know you can't believe it if you see me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I always identified with being pessimistic.
Okay.
But that book was about learning to be optimistic. And so as I practiced it, I realized, wow, I can feel the change in myself.
Okay.
Which means that there must be a lot of power behind this field, right, of positive psychology.
What is positive psychology?
Well, if you think of traditional psychology is very much focused on, hey, what's wrong with people, right? Maybe they have anxiety or depression or some kind of mental health disorder, and you're trying to so-called fix them by finding therapy and solutions.
Yeah.
So after studying people who are mentally ill, say, for decades, Dr. Martin Seligman realized that we can't understand the remaining 90% of the population who are actually doing okay.
Yeah.
On some are thriving. So he said, why are we spending, so much time trying to understand how people thrive by studying people who are depressed?
Yeah.
We should be studying the people who are thriving. And so that was how positive psychology got born,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
It's the study of human flourishing.
So it concentrates on what is positive.
It concentrates on what makes people feel good and function well. So
Yeah.
positivity is part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is especially after the incidences like pandemic and the wars and what not is going in the world.
Yeah.
A lot of people are quite depressed, and they think they have a negative worldview, I guess. What are the tools or techniques they can use actually to overcome that and become more positive?
Yeah, there are so many, but one of the things that I like to do is to practice mindfulness. So mindfulness is really about being present in the moment,
Yeah.
not thinking about something that happened last night, not thinking about what's coming,
Yeah.
and learning to just notice what's now, right? And I find that the only moment we have is now,
Yeah. Okay.
right? The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle taught us that. And so in practicing mindfulness, you start to become also very aware of what's happening inside. So when you're stressed, for example, and you're able to notice as early as possible the signs of stress, because you're so present to your body,
Yeah.
then you can take action as early as possible instead of waiting until you have a breakdown and then you're like, oh, my life is terrible, right?
Yeah.
So that's one. And then the second one is practicing gratitude. Yeah, either in the morning or like expressing, thank you for inviting me onto the podcast, or just being grateful for the things you have in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this mindfulness is about, I guess, about being aware, right?
Yes,
of
that's
your,
right. That's
your.
right.
So is it being aware of your surroundings or being aware of your thoughts?
Both. Yeah. So you can be aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and what's happening in your body.
Okay.
And you can also be aware of what's in your surrounding. So for example, you can do something called mindful sensing, just using your 5 senses to be aware of what's around the world.
Okay.
Right? So let's say if we're just walking in the street, you can use your eyes to see, which most of us do, but we can also use our ears to pay attention, right? We have smells and all of that. So essentially, awareness is about recognizing and noticing, not doing,
Yeah.
right? We are human beings, not human doings.
Yeah.
But because in our busy world, we spend so much time just doing. Mindfulness is about slowing down and just being.
Yeah. It's a beautiful way to put it, I guess. So the other one is about gratitude. I think even personally for me, I consciously started practicing gratitude, I think, during the COVID lockdown pandemic. Because we don't know, especially at the beginning, we couldn't see the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how this is going to end. Some people are saying this can be the end of the world. Some people are saying this can be end of life as we know on the earth. And many theories, conspiracies and things were going on. So on this, at this point of time, I was also reading and listening to many motivational speakers. One thing which I also came to realize is gratitude is so important. You know, that many people are dying. Every day on the news, there were so many people dying, and every day we are watching the numbers. Morning we are checking how many people got the COVID, how many people passed away today, last night, and the evening we are checking again what are the numbers. And on the TV also continuously they are broadcasting these things. So every single day it was a moment for us to be grateful, like that we are alive every single day.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So from that on, I think that really helped. You're right. It really helped to have a positive mindset, to think about the future positively. And here we are today after 5 years, and still the life goes on, right?
Yeah.
As normal. I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, we would have never expected this.
That's true, yeah. I mean, gratitude is a very powerful emotion. You learn to be content with what you have. Sometimes people get unhappy because they have an expectation of how they want life to be. And so they expect and they expect and they expect. And when they don't get what they expect, they get disappointed. But with gratitude, you say, wow, I already have so much, right? I have friendships, right? I have sunshine, right? I have food on my plate. You realize that the more that you do that, happiness comes easily, right? But the more you kind of start looking for the holes in life, you will find a lot as well, right?
Yeah. How would you describe a normal session of your gratitude practice, even from the time you wake up until you sleep on a day?
Yeah, I mean, I have a journal, so I will write down, and I always make it a point to write down about why I'm grateful for whatever it is I've written down, right? So for example, for me to be here in Maldives, I'm very grateful to my husband because he has to look after the kids and still go to work. And I will write down the why, because that's when we connect the words, which is maybe you thought it, but the why is what you feel. So when you say the why, then you're like, oh yeah, you know, it's so nice that he's doing that for me, right? And that's where the power comes. Yeah, but gratitude is also wonderful when it is shared. So journal is an individual, but let's say when I do a workshop or when I talk to a friend and we are talking about gratitude in our life, you realize that when gratitude is shared, it creates an upward spiral of positivity. Yeah, it's not just 1 + 1 2, but it's like, oh wow, you know, you realize how much there is in life that's going for us actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. So you write the journal in the morning and then
It depends.
as you
I
get
don't
up,
write
or-
it in the morning. Sometimes it's also before I go to bed. Yeah, so I don't have like it doesn't have to be fixed for me, but I do write it.
Yeah. So you make a point that every day before you, from the wake up till you sleep, you
Yeah.
take some minutes
Yeah.
to write it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some people I have come across, they have this practice of writing as soon as they get up, and then also
Yeah.
doing right before they sleep,
That's right.
or things
yeah.
like that as well. So, how much we should share? You said, like, for example, it becomes very personal, right? And some other people might not find it very important, right? For example, like I mentioned, like the things we take for granted, like we have oxygen to breathe, which is a very small percentage of our atmospheric gas,
Yeah.
right? But still, we all are alive because of that. And if we don't, this is one thing I learned during that period. There are days I don't know what I'm grateful for, or trying to struggling to find what I can write as something which I'm grateful. Then I just write, I'm grateful there is oxygen I can breathe.
Yeah, and I mean,
So-
sometimes it just begins with what's already on your
Yeah.
body. I'm grateful I have feet that can take me around.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that every day the internal system function to allow me to.
Yes.
Because actually, the human body is so complex.
Yes.
How it actually works is just amazing. It's a miracle every day.
Yeah.
So,
And also, if you have a sickness, if you're not sick, you should be grateful, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're sick, you will be
I mean,
hospitalized or
like
something
during
like that.
COVID, as you mentioned earlier, when
Yeah.
you see people who are struggling or disconnected from their loved ones,
Yeah.
I know some very heartbreaking stories of people who passed away in hospital, but because of the quarantine measures, they're not
They
allowed to
couldn't.
say goodbye.
Even
And-
attend the funeral, right?
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
did it via a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just wow. I mean, those must have been really challenging,
Yeah.
right? So I think gratitude is like it's very accessible. Many people, sometimes people will ask me or tell me, Sha-En, they say, Sha-En, gratitude doesn't work. I did it and it doesn't work. And the main reason it doesn't work for people is because they treat it as an exercise
Yeah.
to just get over with. Well, if you do that, then everything else that is
Yeah.
potentially inspiring or whatever
Yeah.
is just like an ordinary thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you treat it with intention and care, and you go in there, then that's when you start to feel the benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, it's just I'm going supermarket.
True.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, Sha-En. So, what did you do? What did you did rather to deep dive into once you found that passion of positive psychology? What did you did to improve upon that?
Yeah, I mean, in the first part, I read a lot, and then there was a conference in positive psychology, first ever in 2008.
Okay.
And I said, I have to be there, Dr. Martin Seligman came down, a lot of professors came down, and I went there and I was like, whoa, there's this whole new world, because I was a teacher,
Yeah.
right? And then and then I saw them on stage, and I think I also felt very inspired. It was like, wow, they can deliver, first of all, something that's really interesting,
Yeah.
which has a lot of research. Second of all, the way that they deliver is also inspiring.
Okay.
So that was my first kind of like exposure. And then in 2010, I went to UPenn to study with Dr. Martin Seligman,
Okay.
Positive Psychology Masters. Yeah, and so that was how I really built up all my knowledge. And I decided after that to leave the teaching service
Okay.
and jump out to do it. I don't even know what it was. It was just like, I love positive psychology, so how can I do more of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then how you found your speaking? Okay.
It's interesting. I think since young, I've always liked to talk and, present. When I was a teacher, I was given a lot of opportunities to do presentations on behalf of projects that we had. Nobody wanted to do it. They were all very scared.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll do it,
Okay.
because I like to talk anyway. I said, it's just a presentation, just do it. And so I realized, hey, actually, I'm quite comfortable being in front of an audience. And so once I studied positive psychology, I knew that the only way to share what I had learned to help people to be happier
Yeah.
was to speak it. Yeah, and so it wasn't like I grew up thinking I want to be a professional speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just led by a lot of passion and purpose. Yeah, and so
So when you started deep diving into positive psychology, your passion, were you aware of professional speaking as a profession?
No.
So when you came to know about it, how that happened?
Yeah, I
got
just went,
introduced.
I left teaching service.
Okay.
I graduated positive psychology and I started telling my friends, hey, I've learned this cool new thing.
Yeah.
Do you all want to know about it? Anybody who was willing to sit in front of me and listen to me talk, I'll be very happy. Paid or not paid, because
Yeah.
I didn't even know that I can be paid for this, right? And then a school contacted me, one of Singapore's top schools, and they said, we're having a challenge with our students. The vice principal wants to have a chat with you. Okay, so I went there and she said, so what is this positive psychology and how can it help students? So I went into like a pitch mode, At the time, I didn't even know I was pitching.
Yeah, okay.
But I just said, I learned this, blah, blah, blah. This is how it can help your students because I used to be a teacher. And at the end, she said, Sha-En, you are so passionate. I'm sure this is going to help my teachers and my students. Can you run a program for us?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know how to write a proposal.
Okay.
I don't even know. I knew she's going to pay me something, but I don't know how much to put in my proposal.
Yes.
But I decided to do something and I submitted it and she hired me. So that was like my first ever so-called
Gig.
paid gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sometimes your passion, how the route your passion takes you on a journey and finding your, your purpose.
Yeah.
So, do you think that if you define your purpose or your why now, what would it be?
I've always wanted to be able to use knowledge to impact people more positively. I think after I learned positive psychology, I realized that, hey, how come we are not learning this in school, number one, right? We're just expected to know.
Yeah.
And I have paid so much money to go to a very prestigious university, and now it's all in my head. And I thought, I want to make this as accessible to people so that everybody can learn how to thrive. You don't need to pay the 50 grand that I paid, but something accessible. Yeah, so that to me is my purpose, right? I meet anyone, and if there's something that I can share, a practice or something they can do for their life to be just that much better, why not?
Yeah.
It could even just be a smile, right?
So if you
even things
narrow
like
it
that.
down,
Yeah.
you mentioned few things like it is about sharing your knowledge with others, and because you feel that they have been neglected or this particular important knowledge is being lacking in the education system, things like that.
Yeah.
So I see all this. It is your passion is coming towards others, right?
Yes, about contribution.
Yeah, about the contribution and
thinking about how to make. It's cliched, right? When we say let's make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Well, some people do it through sustainability.
Yeah.
Some people do it through so many ways, right? But for me, I think it's because that's my expertise in psychology.
Yeah.
Then how do we help people to live better? How do we people? We're all living longer lives.
Yeah.
Don't we want to live it in a way where we can thrive?
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to dragging our feet all the way to 85. Yeah. So I see that as like the overarching purpose that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is because I'm also a speaker myself, and then we are crossing our midlife, and then how this having such a passion in life actually drives other aspects of your life, right? It's quite fascinating, actually.
Yeah,
how it is
100%,
going with you, especially for example when it comes to health and wellness. If you are really, for example, when I'm working also in the corporate world, I wasn't very much bothered about those things. But when I started speaking and when I started being passionate, when I'm passionate about it, I found that actually I had more desire to be fit and more desire to be healthy, because I feel if I'm not healthy, I might not be able to give back to others or contribute to the society as much as I want to in later part of my life. So how does that turn around for you?
No, it's interesting that you asked this question, right? So, for example, in the last couple of years, I've been volunteering as the vice president and president, and now immediate past president of APSS.
Yes.
And that's a voluntary position,
Yeah.
right? And some people will ask me, well, Sha-En, you're not paid. Why do you want to do this? And I say it's about giving back.
Yeah.
I've received so much, and so I give back. Does it require a lot of time and energy? Yes, of course.
Yes.
Is it a huge responsibility? Yes, of course. But then at the end of the day, you see members are happy. You get to meet amazing people, right? And as a result, you grow your network.
Yeah.
And you find that contribution gives you manifold back more than what you gave in. And I think the desire to serve, the desire to help others, to see impact and growth is also what drives one of the reasons why I decided to step up, right? And I guess that comes from when we think of this word flourishing or thriving, it isn't just, I mean, there's so many things that we can think about, right? Financials, of course, health, relationships, right? And so when we think about this whole journey of contribution, I also think about relationships. Relationships are the single most important predictor of your well-being, right? And so, well, I can take all this knowledge and hide by like a hermit in a cave, or I can go out there and meet people and share it, right? And the world's better for it. And for me too, right? I get it back.
So, talking about relationships, is there specific anything which you do to, which you consciously do to harness relationships?
I try to listen well. Yeah, I think that listening is a very underrated superpower.
Okay.
So we are speakers, right?
Yes.
So it's very natural to just blah, blah, blah. But when I find that when I listen, whether it's to my clients, to my husband, to my children, to my friends, I actually get to know them so much better. And because I know them so much better, I can be there for them. And they also feel that they're valued.
Yes.
Yeah, that connection of them being seen, being heard, being valued to me. So listening is what I try to do more of. Yeah. Otherwise, the natural is da 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 da.
So this is something many people get wrong as well. And I personally wasn't a great listener. I would agree. And one thing which really opened up my mind is in this area was when I did my training in ICF coaching, because you have to do this. And that really changed the way I interact with others, even with family members. Apparently, even my wife was telling me recently that you don't talk as much you talk earlier. Because earlier when we have family get together or people around, I talk a lot. Sometimes I don't give them a chance to others to talk.
Right.
So, but now I listen more, I think. So I think people also sees the difference. So how can, what is the difference between hearing and listening?
I mean, listening is like you are, number one, you are looking out at more things. You listen for the tone, you listen for speech cadence, you listen for emotions. Many people listen for story. Like, for example, this happened, procedures, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. But the deeper listening is when you listen for emotions and you're paying attention to more things, facial expression, body language. And then you put together a whole composite picture of what is this person actually trying to tell me. Hearing is just the words, right? It's very top level. But listening goes deeper, in which listening then leads to understanding.
Because it's funny, and especially I think between genders as well. Unless I read few books on how women think, I think I never realized that sometimes it's not only with women, but I mean even men also. Sometimes we don't actually mean what we say, right? That happens a lot, right? People, especially in the corporate world or in the business world, people will always want to say nice things. There are formalities around it, but that doesn't mean that that's actually what they mean, right?
I mean, there's also like speech communication. Some people have indirect ways of communicating, and some are more direct. And a lot of it's influenced by culture as well. Not just the workplace, right? But upbringing. So maybe in Asia we are a little bit more indirect. We don't like to confront. We don't like conflict, you know. But for some people, they're okay with it. You know, as long as there's that kind of agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So, what you are working on currently, right? And I heard you also speak at for example, last APSS. I was quite stunned by the way you told these stories. Yeah.
Was it the gala?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think you have this fascinating ability of connecting with the audience with the stories. How do you come up with these stories?
Most of my stories are my own stories. Yeah, but
is it your own means? It is something related to your childhood, your past, or
yes. So I always
something...
try to blend a bit of my own story with what the audience is there to learn. So, for example, at the gala, the theme was amplify imagination, and so people are there, and when people sit in the audience, they will be asking only one question: what is it in for me? Not consciously, but they are there for themselves. They're not there for X, Y, Z. They're there for themselves. And so as a speaker, the number one rule is always you speak for your audience. Then what's the difference between Iyas and Sha-En standing on the stage? It's my story. So how do I make my story still relate to the audience, right? And then still fit in with the theme? So that requires a bit of engineering. So I have to think, okay, the theme is amplify imagination. The audience wants to know what that means, maybe to me, right? How can we do it, maybe more practically? You know, how do we break down this concept of amplify imagination, right? And if you were to go into the semantics and say amplify is this, it'll be boring. People don't want to learn.
And anybody can Google it,
and
right?
you can Google it. So story then becomes the way to make it come alive. Yeah. So that's my process. I think about, okay, what's the theme mean to me? What would audience like to learn for it for themselves? And then what is my story, and how do I want them to feel after walking away from that? So for me, my goal is very simple. I want them to feel inspired. I want them to feel that anything is possible. Yeah, I want them to feel that they're in the right place. They came here for the right reason. Yeah, but ultimately, it's not about me. It's about them. That they can walk away knowing, I can do this.
I think you never told that in your speech, but being in the audience, I can say that you achieved your target. Because we felt it, like, okay, this is the reason. And I think at the end it was quite emotional as well, right?
Yes, it was.
And is it purposely you brought that emotions into it to connect more with the audience, or for the audience to feel what you wanted them to feel?
I think it's like, you know, they always say professional speaking is like acting.
Okay, partly, yes.
Partly, but it's also, I think, because I was the president, and I feel very connected to the community. So the emotions, right, I practiced it many, many times, and every time I would cry at the same places. So I think it's because the story means a lot to me, the Little Prince, that was what I was talking about. And then the fact that, you know, this community means so much to me. And actually, this is my life. Right? This community is my home. Right? So I feel the emotion just comes naturally. You know, and of course, we always say that when you want to speak about a story that's your own, and it's emotional, you want to know that you can deliver it on stage without becoming a sobbing mess. So I practice. The practice helps the emotion to come out, I guess, maybe at the right times. So that it's enough for the audience to connect and relate. But like, you know, nobody needs to rush up and take me for a therapy session after that.
So when it is authentic, when the emotions are authentic, it also helps the audience to feel it as well, right?
Definitely.
It's very important. Sha-En, let's talk about the topic which I'm developing right now, which is called unretirable. And I see I have now already interviewed more than 30 people on my podcast as well around this area. And I think what fascinates me now, after interviewing so many people, is actually each one of them have identified a passion and a purpose in their life. And when you align these two, magic happens, actually. And when I ask this question from every single one of them, what is your retirement plans?
I have many conversations with my husband. You know, the
Yes.
standard idea of retirement is that you finish your job and then you spend the rest of your days doing whatever the ... means to you,
Yes.
right? But I think ever since I became a speaker, and the more I spend time with speakers who are, say, 15, 20 years ahead of us,
Okay.
I realized that they're not ready to retire and they don't plan to, right? And actually, they get better with age.
Yes, more experience.
More experience, their stories are richer, they've traveled, they've seen so many things, and I said, yeah, that's perfect for me. Because, okay, let's say we retire at 60, then what? What
Yes.
if I've got 25 years?
More
I'm going to
ahead,
go
right?
bored out of my mind,
Yeah.
right? Okay, yes, I can read a book, yes, I can travel, but I've also met people who travel and travel and they get tired from traveling
Yes.
because they aren't actually doing something that is purposeful. They can be passionate about traveling.
They're traveling for the sake of traveling or sightseeing or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, of course, beautiful sights are always nice to see. But let's say you combine the passion for travel with the purpose of something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that makes it more sustainable.
Yes.
Right? So to me, yeah, I see the profession that we're in as something that can grow even better and better with time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying that you don't have a plan for retirement, or you.
Of course, I've
Thinking
got
of-
financial plans that we have
Yeah.
investments and all of that, and then, you know, and also I'm going to be maybe in, I don't know, 8 years, an empty nester, right? My children are going to go to university and won't care about me, and so I
yes.
have to have a plan with my husband. Like, what are we going to do in that stage of our life?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty clear that it has to be service oriented. It has to, I need to make use of some of the things that I'm good at
Yeah.
doing, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we take care of our finances, then we should be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense,
So when somebody thinks of becoming unretirable, what I call unretirable means, like you said, there are people who are at that late. Even there are people that we know in their 80s
yeah,
who are still
going strong.
rocking the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So when somebody is in a profession like this and when they are giving back to the society continuously, of course, finance becomes an important aspect of
Yes.
like a backup for them to pursue their passion, right? So, and the beautiful thing about professional speaking, that also gets you paid.
yeah,
So actually, you are killing one stone, two birds with one stone.
yeah,
in
exactly.
a way,
right?
yeah. So, what was your financial journey like? How because you are a teacher, and I know Singapore teachers are paid well compared to other parts of the world.
But they also work way too hard.
Yes, exactly. So, how that thought process of becoming financially independent or planning for retirement, investment, all these things, how it ignited in you?
Actually, you know, I never really thought a lot about finances. But in 2027, before the pandemic, I guess once you become a parent, you start to think about it more. If it's just me, myself, and I, maybe I wouldn't even, it wouldn't even cross my mind too much. But then I was thinking and looking at my children, they were growing up.
Yeah.
And then I have some thoughts around money that I felt were not very healthy. Like, for example, I just want to live for the moment and spend, you know. Or the other extreme is I'm just going to save, and not make myself happy. Both extremes are actually not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
You need
then-
to strike a balance.
Yeah, I need
Very
to strike a
important.
balance. But then Singapore being a very expensive place, I said it's also if I don't plan, then what are my children going to have?
Yeah.
Or what am I going to do when I quote unquote get old?
Yeah.
Right? And so in 2018 I decided, hey, you know, it's really time to invest into my financial education and read up a bit more. But I also have to know myself. When it comes to stocks and shares, do I have the time to manage it? No. Do I have the interest? Not really. So we just put it with a financial investment firm that
Okay.
helps us to manage it based on our goals. Yeah. But it required the mindset shift to say, hey, I want to do something about it.
Okay.
Yeah, which took some time for me, I'll confess.
Yeah, it's,
But now,
it's
I'm
never
trying to get my children started very early. So my eldest one's 16. And I told her she's doing some little baking business. She likes to bake.
Yeah.
So I said, you can spend the money or we can open a investment account for you. Whatever you make, we just put inside because the power of compounding.
Yes.
The younger you start, your runway is so long.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
I have become more open to this idea of starting, number one, starting early, number two, you spend some to enjoy yourself, but the rest, not save, you invest, Yeah.
True. It's very important, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people wait far too long to actually to start saving and investing. Then they don't get that advantage of compounding, as you
That's
mentioned.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about other aspects of life? Do you think about, like you mentioned that, okay, you want to, after your kids go to college or when they finish college, you want to think of what you need to do after that with your husband.
Yeah.
So, have
I'm
you
not
come
sure
to
if
any?
we have any concrete plans
Yes.
just yet, but I know that for him, my husband also works very hard, and now he's doing a PhD in AI.
Okay.
So I don't think he wants to retire either. We are
Okay.
both too, what's the word? Restless in a good way.
Yes.
We'll always end up finding something to do. But
Okay.
most importantly, it must be aligned to, number one, keeping us together, right? Number two, I guess doing some contribution back using our strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it looks like, we don't know. But for me, sometimes I think maybe I'll open a school.
Okay.
I thought about that before because I used to be a teacher.
Yeah. Teacher.
And then some of the things that, like we talk about finances, I would love for children to have financial education as early as possible in school, right?
Yeah.
And mental health, emotional education, speaking, public speaking skills.
Yes.
All these are really important things. Yeah.
For them to also get actually quite early on life, right?
Yeah, or like relationships, how do you deal with difficult conversations?
Yes.
Right? As early as possible, how do you navigate conflict?
Yeah.
These are all my areas of interest. Yeah, but whether it will manifest, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
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 But it's in my mind, I guess.
Okay. So, do you have any particular person who is a role model or some people you look up to in this area?
I love this researcher called Brené Brown.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
She's like top 4th most watched TEDx
Okay.
TED Talk
I
in the
think I
whole
have-
world.
yes.
And I love the fact that she's number one, a very deep researcher, but also when she presents on stage, she's so authentic, so funny, and when she writes her books, I always feel very touched by what she writes because it's so grounded in this research, but yet also so authentic, relatable.
Yeah.
And it teaches me a lot about myself.
Yeah.
Which I hope can share with other people.
Yeah. So I wish you all the best in that. I think one day you can become a Benny Brown.
Yeah. There are a lot of people in Asia who aspire to be
Yeah.
Asia's Brené Brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in your mind, other than what we discussed just now, we because most of my friends, of course, I'm also in professional speaking, and I get to talk to more speakers than people of any other profession. But I have even earlier recorded podcasts on people who are not really professional speakers, but who are either authors or different areas, educators, and people like that as well. So when you think about other professions other than professional speaking, what do you think might be common things we can see, whether they are from any background, which they can utilize or which they can do actually to become unretirable?
I think if they're not a professional speaker, they can I mean, they will still be able to have transferable skill sets from whatever job they do, right? So, so that's one. They can bring some of these transferable skill sets and ask themselves, what can I do with that? I think we always have to ask open-minded questions, right? Not, oh, now I can only be like this, but we ask possibility questions. What could I do? How can I do it? Right? What is there for me to contribute to, for example, right? And so it doesn't mean that after you retire from your corporate job or like in a teaching job or whatever it is that you are stuck there, right? I think it's the willingness to go out there and discover and explore what's there for you that you can do, right? And then of course, finances have to be in order, I would think. Yeah, for them to be able to step out and say, hey, you know, there's something that I want to do. Meaning from from corporate into speaking
into something like something which is giving or adding value to the society, so they can continue doing it for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I know of this lady. She was previously in the corporate, and I think maybe at 40s or 50s she decided to contribute to the startup scene. Like venture capitalists or like angel investing, and so she started to be part of all the different, you know, groups and help young startups, a bit like where we are now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but they would pitch, and so she would help them because she came from the corporate side of things and she had that skill set, and so she started doing that, and now she has supported quite a lot of these newbies to get funded. Yeah, and they are now babies into the world. Yeah, and she's in her 60s, and she said life doesn't stop here. You know, and she just continued. And she took whatever experience she took from the corporate. But one thing I've learned, that people who are able to do this, they have a growth mindset.
Wonderful.
They just keep learning.
I think you just hit on the head of the nail. Because this is an area which I'm very passionate. You might have known that I have been speaking for the last 5 years on growth mindset. Even in Maldives, I'm the first one who started calling myself a growth mindset advocate, because I wanted, wherever I want to go, I encourage people to embrace a growth mindset, because I see a lot of people in their mid-career especially fall back into a fixed mindset, even if they had their growth mindset earlier. And this is where they need to be aware, right? So it is so important, I think, people who continue doing that have a growth mindset.
And people who pivot successfully must have it. Because, for example, let's say you are an F&B, right? And you have been running restaurants all your life, for example. And the climate now is not suitable to run a restaurant. The costs are too high, blah, blah, blah. And what do? Are you just going to sit there and say, you know? You can't. But if you say, oh, you know, what can I do with my skills? You know, what else could I learn? And maybe they go and learn to be a food photographer. I mean, I don't know. And you've got Instagram and social media, right? You learn to cook offline, or it doesn't even have to be about food, frankly. I've seen people pivot entirely different industries as well. But they bring a transferable skill set. And they have
today
willingness.
With the new technologies, social media, AI and all those things, it has become easier than before, I guess, to pivot as well, right?
That's right.
Because you can actually test the market before, and not like before.
Not
like 10 years back, you wouldn't be able to do this, what you are able to do today, right?
So, for example, I have a secret
okay.
I have a secret desire or dream to be a food influencer.
Okay,
so I like to bake, I like to cook.
And so are we going to see any of the videos soon?
I don't know, but you see, it's the willingness to try, right? In order to do that, number one, I need to film it. That means step by step of how I do it. Number two, I need to create an Instagram and start putting pictures, right? Number two, I could be a food reviewer, go to restaurants, give them the lowdown. You know, there's so many things, but it requires you to step out of that comfort zone and say, okay, I'm going to put myself out there and try something new. But for now, I intend to bring food into my programs as a sort of a segue. Start to introduce. So like maybe when I have events or meetups, then part of it is also coming together as a community where food can be something that nourishes people. As opposed to, we just called a caterer, you know, but it's more.
I know that you're running this mastermind, right?
Yeah, we have a mastermind group, but I'm also building a community right now. Yeah, and so the community, my hope is for people to feel less alone, more connected. Yeah, and I hope that, and I see, around the world that food is such an important way to bring people together, right?
Yeah.
People always need to eat anyway.
Yes.
And
Everybody's stomach talks the same language.
exactly, it's like. So I always think of like when I build this community that's about being happier and healing, how can food not be a part of it?
I think this again coming to my topic as well. I think building that relationship, having the community has become more important than ever, because there are so many research which shows that one of the worst spreading illness, actually now it is kind of considered as a illness by the WHO and other authorities, I guess, is actually loneliness. Yeah, so I think you're doing a great job in that and trying to have that community. And when you started that, did you think that, okay, if I only do these things, even I will be alone one day and I need to have this? Or is it about by observing or that others who are not connected enough for how actually that decision came up?
Yeah, I did. When I was doing a lot of webinars in the pandemic, I realized that, you can't see anybody on the screen, but yet somehow, either during the webinar or after, I would get a lot of messages from people who were in the webinar, and I didn't even look at, maybe I'm looking at them, but I don't even see their faces on screen.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even on the video.
They don't turn the video, but they would write to me and tell me their problems and like, this is what I'm going through, and I'm like, wow, somebody is sitting in a cubicle somewhere in some country feeling very alone all by themselves, and if we can create a community, we bring people together, then why not? It's not really difficult to organize. And people self-select. If they like what your community represents and what it stands for, they'll join, right? And some of them go and move on to other communities, it's also fine. You don't hold too much attachment to it.
This is actually a thought which I also had when I talk about unretirable, because I think it is important that people who are interested to become unretirable come together as a community.
Of course, yeah.
So I always had this thought of actually building a community around unretirable theme. And because there is not only aspects of like connections, relationships, it's also about fitness, it's also about financial well-being, and so many aspects are there. So I think, I'm thinking actually it can be a beautiful community.
Yes. And if you see the people who, like Harvard has this very long-term study, I'm sure you've heard of it, the human development study, and they found that the people who are happiest, healthiest, live the longest are people who are surrounded by other people. So community matters, right?
Yes.
And like, in the past few years, my dad was not very well. And I realized the thing he struggled the most with was that because of his physical health not being good, he wasn't able to go to the club that he has been going to for the past 50 years, where his friends are, right? So he wasn't able to do that. He used to play tennis 3 times a week. And because he couldn't, he started to feel very depressed because he's alone. And when you're alone, what happens? You start to have a lot of negative thoughts. I'm not good enough, I'm useless, I'm getting old, I'm irrelevant, whatever, right? So I encouraged him to join this elder care center. And they're not his best friends, but it is a community.
Somebody's there at least.
Someone would talk to him, take him for physio, ask him whether he's had lunch, play games, But it's better than nothing. Community matters a lot. I think increasingly in this world, where everything sometimes can feel very chaotic, fragmented, all the more, bringing people together becomes something really, really critical. Otherwise, it's hard to sustain life, isn't it? When you're all by yourself.
So what do you do actually to keep this community together? What kind of activities or technology you use, or what are the advice?
Right now it's only on WhatsApp. So every day I will share something that I think would be helpful for them.
Out of the WhatsApp group?
Oh yeah, as part of all the
Yeah.
teams. And then I'm planning to hold our first meetup. I've collaborated with this local designer leather goods company
Okay.
called Bind Artisan.
Bind.
Yeah, and we created these beautiful journals which have all the well-being tips inside.
Okay.
So I want to have start the year well,
Okay.
and then we're going to have first meetup. Yeah, but I think over time I want to have more meetups. Yeah, but also maybe some kind of causes and stuff so that the community can learn together
Okay.
and grow, right? And grow is obviously in their own well-being, but
Yeah.
also the mindset. And
Wonderful, wonderful.
that's the plan. So you'll
yes.
see 2026.
Okay. Do you have any plan of having a website or
Yeah,
some place, a digital place where they can come
I
together?
have. I intend to use AI in some way. So I have been talking to one of our APSS members, Andrew Chow. He's very into AI. So I told him what I want to do. He said, after you come back, which is after I come back from Maldives, he's going to talk me through it.
Alright.
So definitely need to leverage technology,
Yes.
but in a way where we don't lose the human touch.
Okay.
But at the same time, with technology, we can scale up, reach more people, be more accessible, right? Yeah.
The beautiful thing about AI is actually, even from the beginning, a lot of people are a bit skeptical about whether to use AI, not to use AI. I started using about 2 years back. So I'm one of the very early adopters when it comes public. AI has been there for decades, right?
Yes, true.
But I think it came to accessible for us on the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And then I started meddling around with it and then giving it the information and then trying to, people are very scared to give,
Yes,
to
yeah.
give information as well. But one thing I have actually noticed is actually it helps us to leave the mundane tasks and stuff like that. So we can be, we can find more time to become more human.
Yes, that's
Even in the
true.
office environment, even in the business environment. Now we can have more time to actually talk with people,
True.
sit down with them,
Yeah.
rather than, always getting busy with,
Excel
going
sheets.
through tasks and Excel sheets. Yeah. So,
Agree.
I think that's very, very helpful as well.
Yeah.
So Sha-En, thank you very much for your insights and the thoughts you have brought into our podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
As the theme of this podcast goes, like waves of wisdom, there's one thing I ask from all the guests is, what is that one wisdom which you have held on, which you have learned really early in your life and you are still hanging on to, which others can benefit?
Wow, one wisdom. I would say people are people, and relationships truly matter. We have only one life, and when we reach the end of it, what counts?
Yeah.
It's the people in our lives.
Yeah.
So cherish and build those relationships.
Wonderful. It's a good way to end the podcast, I guess. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much.
I'm glad
Yeah,
that
so
we had
happy
this
to be here
conversation.
again.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. For my viewers, I hope this episode has brought you a lot of positivity to your life and your thoughts with the positive psychology and happiness coach we have, Sha-En. And until we come back with another episode, don't forget to harness your human connections and build your relationships, as Sha-En has mentioned. And don't forget to be unretirable. Thank you.